And there was a time for this law, but not anymore. See, this is our time to dance. It is our way of celebrating life. It's the way it was in the beginning. It's the way it's always been. It's the way it should be now.
Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Carole.
I'm Kristin.
And we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well?
This week's movie is Footloose, the Kevin Bacon starring musical drama that has one of the most iconic soundtracks of all time. So if you are into aggressively blowing off steam in an abandoned warehouse with the art of dance, this episode is for you.
Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us.
Hi, we're in person. Hello. We're in the same room.
That's crazy.
I know. We are coming from
Olmsted Falls, Ohio.
We are from your young adult bedroom.
My college days bedroom.
This is a sweet ass bedroom. Next week, we've got a big week.
Yeah. My daughter graduates high school. It's a very exciting week.
Neener comes back.
Yep. Jeannine is in Ireland.
She's in Ireland. And
so she's a no-show for recording.
Yeah, she's having the time of her life. And she got to miss, I feel like this was, and I just said it to Mom. I was like, Jeannine would have sang all these songs.
For sure. I knew every word.
I mean, she would have completely done a rendition of Footloose.
Yeah. I hear it in my head.
I hear it in my head as well.
Life ain't passing you by. I'm trying to tell you, it will if you don't even try. You can fly if you'd only cut loose, foot loose, kick off your Sunday shoes.
Like we said, this week's movie is Footloose. It is.
This was my pick. You're welcome.
This was Kega's pick. 1984 classic starring Kevin Bacon. And in this small town of Beaumont, Utah, rock music and dancing are banned and have been for years, ever since a group of teenagers died in a car accident after a night out. When Ren McCormick, a city kid from Chicago, moves in with his aunt and uncle and his mom, he doesn't just struggle to fit in. He can't wrap his head around even just the idea that a town has legislated joy out of existence. We were just talking about joy yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The local reverend who lost his son in that accident has held Beaumont in a tight grip ever since. But Ren isn't built for quiet, and neither is the reverend's daughter, Ariel, who has her own reasons for pushing back. What starts as a culture clash turns into a fight over who gets to decide what the town is allowed to feel.
That's a wonderful overview of the movie.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like it. So our main character here is Sir Kevin Bacon.
Sir Kevin Bacon.
Who was born Kevin Norwood Bacon I love that name, yeah. On July 8th, 1958 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The youngest of 6 children, his father, Edmund, was a prominent city planner known as the father of modern Philadelphia. Bacon left home at 17 to pursue theater in New York, training at the Circle in the Square Theater School and winning an Obie Award for his off-Broadway work in 40 Deuce in 1982. His film debut came in National Lampoon's Animal House in 1978, followed by Friday the 13th in 1980 and Diner in 1982.
We loved him so much in Friday the 13th.
Yes.
We really did.
Footloose in 1984 made him a household name. He went on to play roles in JFK, A Few Good Men, Apollo 13, Mystic River, and X-Men First Class, among many others. He won a Golden Globe and a Screen Actors Guild Award for his performance in the 2009 HBO film Taking Chance. His prolific career inspired the parlor game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, which posits that any actor in Hollywood can be linked to Bacon in 6 steps or fewer. He eventually embraced it, founding the charitable initiative 6degrees.org. He has been married to actress Kira Sedgwick since 1988.
I love Kira Sedgwick.
Oh, yes.
We do have somebody else in the studio today with us. We have Bitsy. So you may hear a dog in the background. We have Lori Singer, who was born November 6th, 1957 in Corpus Christi, Texas. Her father, Jacques Singer, was an internationally known conductor, and her mother was a concert pianist. She made her solo cello debut at the She made her solo cello debut with the Oregon Symphony at 13 and was admitted to Juilliard at 14, where she studied under cellist Leonard Rose and became the school's youngest graduate. She briefly modeled with Elite Model Management before turning to acting, inspired by her brother, actor Mark Singer. She joined the cast of the television series Fame in 1982, playing a cellist and dancer in a role written specifically for her. For Footloose in 1984, she beat out Madonna, Melanie Griffith, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Rosanna Arquette for the role of Ariel Moore. After Footloose, she appeared in The Falcon and the Snowman and The Man with the One Red Shoe, both in 1985, and later in Robert Altman's Shortcuts in 1993, for which the ensemble cast won a Golden Globe. She stepped away from acting in the mid-1990s to return to music and later moved into documentary work, executive producing the Emmy and Peabody Award-winning HBO film Mea Maxima Culpa in 2012.
We also have Diane Wiest, who was born March 28th, 1948 in Kansas City, Missouri. She studied theater at the University of Maryland before leaving to tour with a Shakespearean troupe and built an extensive stage career in New York through the 1970s, winning an Obie Award for her work in The Art of Dining in 1979. She made her film debut in this week's film as the Reverend's wife before Woody Allen cast her for The Purple Rose of Cairo in 1985. She won her first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for Hannah and Her Sisters in 1986, and her second for Bullets Over Broadway in 1994, also taking home a Golden Globe for the latter. She received a third Oscar nomination for Parenthood in 1989. Other notable film roles include The Lost Boys, Edward Scissorhands, and The Birdcage. On television, she won Emmy Awards for Road to Avonlea in 1997 and for the HBO drama In Treatment in 2008. I love her.
I love her. I think the first time I probably saw her was in Parenthood. And I'm just realizing Parenthood was 89 and
I
it
know.
better be on our list.
Yeah, and we can't wait 3 years for its anniversary.
No, we're not going to. Yeah, I'm not going with that at all. There's something else in here that I wanted. Oh, Hannah and Her Sisters. Did we do that movie or did we actually throw that one in the garbage?
It was in the garbage.
Because it was just so horrible.
Yeah.
That there was nothing we could talk about.
Yes.
And she won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then we have the GOAT, John Lithgow. born October 19th, which is also my wife's birthday, 1945, in Rochester, New York, into a theatrical family. His mother was an actress and his father a theater producer and director. He graduated magna cum laude from Harvard in 1967 and went on to study at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts on a Fulbright scholarship. Because of his father's job, the family moved frequently during Lithgow's childhood. He spent his childhood years in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Where the hell is that?
I have no idea. Where activist Coretta Scott King was one of his babysitters.
Weird.
He spent his teenage years in Akron, actually living at Stan Hewitt Hall. If you're not familiar, go ahead and Google that.
How do you sign up for that?
I know. I don't know how you get to live in Stan Hewitt Hall, but he did, and spent his summers in Lakewood, Ohio, where his father had started the Great Lakes Theater Festival, then called the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival, and stayed over the summers inside the Lakewood Civic Auditorium.
Mind blown.
Right? He made his, so imagine.
Was he friends with Tom Hanks?
I don't know if it was at the same time. I don't know. I think it's worthy of looking into. He made his Broadway debut in 1973 in The Changing Room, winning a Tony for Best Featured Actor. So in his Broadway debut, he won a Tony.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's crazy. He received back-to-back Academy Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor for The World According to Garp in 1982 and Terms of Endearment in 1983. He played the anti-dancing reverend in this week's movie, and in the same year, he also appeared in Twilight Zone, the movie, and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. He starred as Dick Solomon in the NBC sitcom Third Rock from the Sun from 1996 to 2001, and he received Emmy Awards for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for his role as Arthur Mitchell in the drama Dexter, and later won wide acclaim for his portrayal of Winston Churchill in The Crown in 2016. He went on to win 2 Tony Awards, 7 Emmy Awards, and 2. All in all, he has won 2 Tony Awards, 7 Emmy Awards. I think I fucked that up. All in all, he has won 2 Tony Awards, I believe 8 Emmy Awards, and 2 Golden Globes throughout his career. So he doesn't have an EGOT. He doesn't have an Oscar.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
I loved him in Daddy's Home. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't.
Oh, with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
Oh, maybe I
Oh my
have.
gosh, he is so funny.
He was so good in Dexter. He was so good in Dexter. He was so good in The Crown. And right out the gate in 73, he started winning awards.
You're a winner.
It's crazy.
Winner.
We also have, of note, we have Christopher Penn in this movie. And I think if you were to recognize that name from anywhere, it would be probably Reservoir Dogs. He did pass away in 2006, as well as SJP, who plays the very, very short friend of Ariel.
Short. And she looked like she came right from the set of Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
And she really did. She really did.
She's a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
And this was released on February 17th, 1984. That's a great day.
It's really a great day.
And it is rated PG.
Which tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a budget of 7.5 to 8.2 million. That's the range that we're given.
Seems high.
It does for being just in a little bodunk town.
And we'll talk about filming locations, but that's high.
It does seem high.
There were no helicopters.
No.
There were no
Real military vehicles.
special effects.
No.
I wonder where all that went.
And there's some big names in here, but at
But it was
this point, it wasn't.
84. Yeah, I mean, this is
They weren't anything to throw millions of dollars to.
yeah, it's interesting. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry.
That is a high amount.
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter because the box office brought in $80 million.
That's yeah.
So yeah,
There's a
they
success
did
as opposed to
well.
like last week's movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah.
It opened at 1,384 theaters.
And it averaged
It averaged 14 weeks per theater. Yeah, that's
a good run.
3.5 months.
Yeah.
It seems like movies are only out for like 2 weeks right now.
I know. I don't understand how movies work these days.
No.
I really don't understand.
It's like by the time you have time to go see a movie, it's already gone.
So the filming locations, even though this is set in Utah, rural-ish Utah, the high school and tractor scenes were filmed in around Payson and Payson High School. So I believe, okay, so they must have shot in Utah. Okay. The church scenes were filmed at the First Presbyterian Church in American Fork, while the steel mill was the Geneva Steel Facility in Vineyard. The Lehigh Roller Mills was the location where Wren worked. And Bacon actually briefly worked at the roller mill as research for his role.
So this was an actual place?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The drive-in scenes were filmed in Provo at what was then a branch of the High Spot burger chain. And the bar scene was filmed at the Silver Spur Bar in downtown Provo. The bar and other surrounding buildings since then have been demolished to make way for the Utah Valley Convention Center.
That's dumb.
I know. And I think that's all the data we've got to write for this week's movie. Had you seen this before?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I remember this being on TV, probably late 80s, early 90s. Or we owned the VHS of it.
Okay. We also the DVD because I finished watching it on the DVD.
You purchased the DVD?
No, Mom has it.
Oh,
It's downstairs.
but she has quite an opinion about this.
She does. She didn't really fancy Lori Singer for some unfound reason.
But she must like the movie to have purchased a.
Well, they have a lot of DVDs.
Where are they?
They're all
under the TV.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to look for next week's movie under there.
Yeah.
What I found weird is they seem to have like every season of Northern Exposure. And I was like, I did not know them to be. And then there's a whole thing of unopened like series, like seasons of Grey's Anatomy and stuff.
You
I'm
know,
going to go through this before I go home because I bought a DVD player before at the Goodwill.
well, they're waiting to retire to watch all that.
Right.
Oh,
And I asked for it.
oh, you did?
I did because I started watching it up here. But I kept falling asleep. And I went down there. So I watched the end of it down there, but I couldn't stream for whatever reason. When she goes, I bet we own it. So I went looking and they did.
Wow.
So I finished watching it off the DVD.
I remember having the VHS and watching it. But of course, as a kid, I was just in it to see the dancing.
To the dancing, for sure.
I had no idea what the plot actually meant, but now I do, and I appreciate it. Do you remember watching it?
No. Oh, I mean, I know I've seen it, but I don't remember when. It's one of those where I'm like, oh, I know I've seen bits and pieces. I think Jeannine would say the same thing. I don't know. But like, I think I've seen every scene, but did I see them all together? I don't remember. And it would have been something we could have watched. It was rated PG.
Yeah.
So I know I had seen it before, but I knew I definitely needed to watch it again to really try and see if there was a good storyline there, or
Yeah.
was it just a really long music video?
Right.
So I am glad I finally got the whole movie. And it's not about the movie I kept falling asleep. I think I'm just tired from the week.
Yeah.
It wasn't the movie putting me to sleep per se.
You're just old and can't hang anymore.
Yes, that's 1,000% true. So, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it.
We have dancing feet to the song Footloose, and then we're thrown into a seemingly small town church with a preacher talking against rock and roll music because the Lord is testing us with porn and obscene gestures.
Yep.
We have a girl painting her nails and a little boy passed out in the congregation.
Okay, let's talk about that little boy that was passed out. Like, I'm actually thinking that was real. Yeah. Because that could not have been acting. That was so real.
He was passed out.
That was like, he was gorked. He was like, that was a real asleep child.
He might have been drooling.
Yeah, like that was not acting. That was
No.
an actual child. They like,
If that was acting, that kid better
yeah,
be winning awards at this point.
like they gave him some Dimetap prior to shooting.
Well, Mrs. McCormick and her son Ren are introduced to the preacher's wife, Vi. Ariel, also known as the girl who is painting her nails during church, meets the McCormicks and learns that Ren is starting at the high school tomorrow. The group of girls Ariel is with geeks out over how gorgeous Ren is.
They really do.
They do. He's just a gorgeous little man.
And this is where you first see Ariel with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
Or Rusty. What is her name?
Rusty.
Rusty. And it's like, Ariel's like 1.5 feet taller than her.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's just so funny to see how short SJP is.
Yeah.
So,
And she was pretty short next to Helen Hunt.
but she was short,
But I don't feel like,
but like Helen Hunt didn't like
tower.
over her. It was just like, oh my God, she's just a little baby.
Yeah. And then they put her next to a model.
I know. Yeah, they did.
So the girls are in the car and the barfmobile pulls up beside them and alongside them to race. This just reminds me of like Bodunk country fun. Like this is what kids do in the country. And Ariel is climbing out of the car to get into Chuck's truck, aka the barfmobile. Now this looks like an absolute disaster.
I want to know how they filmed this.
Yes. I mean that was a very high speed with someone trying to climb horizontally from one car to the other. But then like the car didn't match the truck level.
No, they were two different levels. And then somehow she gets herself into a standing position.
Like an A-frame.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a semi coming at them. Oh, shocker. And Ariel is between both cars, and it's now a game of chicken with this semi. She barely gets into the truck before the semi blows between the two cars.
Ariel has a death wish.
Yes. So now we're questioning Ariel's mental stability.
Yeah, seriously. Like something. I mean, her brother's dead.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll edit that out.
Jeez.
She may have had some childhood trauma that has caused sort of this
It's kind of typical
this
rebellious
behavior. Yeah.
reverend's daughter action.
Perhaps my parents aren't paying attention to me kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So now were we at the reverend's house or the uncle's house? I think it's the uncle's house.
Mm-hmm.
We're at Ren's uncle's house. And we learned that Ren had just gotten there the previous day from the big city. We don't know where that is yet. And there's a debate on classic books, meaning Hemingway versus Slaughterhouse-Five.
Oh, that was at somebody's house. Yeah, whose house was that at?
It was hard to tell if it was the
Because
reverend
it was
or
on
the
a
uncles.
porch. It was on.
They were on the porch.
porch. Yeah, I don't know whose
So
house they were.
that's why I was questioning
Yeah,
where they were.
yeah.
It wasn't very clear. So back with the destructive truck, everyone gets to the drive-in and Ariel busts out a boombox and turns on Dancing in the Streets.
Okay, explain something to me. They left church, they drove down a highway, and they arrive at the drive-in at night?
Yes, they are just driving
Like,
because that's all there is to do there.
but she, like, told her, it made it seem like, well, we're heading to the diner or whatever, but why did it have to be, I don't understand where 6 hours went. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
but this man, like, why is it nighttime
the
already?
logic of
Text.
do some hanky-panky
It's just, I think it's just a
inconsistency.
inconsistency. Yeah.
So everyone's moving and grooving to the boombox music, and they're smoking in the bathroom and dancing on the cars and dancing at the arcade games. And they're all just jamming to the music. They're having a great time. And then the buzzkill Reverend Dad turns it all off, and everyone halts and stares. And he was there because he brought Ariel some money.
Nice dad.
Right. The intention was super awesome, but the look of disappointment in his face could make you go into the fetal position.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves.
I think part of him is embarrassed too, right? Because he's preaching to this whole town and his daughter's the fucking problem.
She's the culprit.
Yeah. Like, he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
I feel.
Now, the next morning, Ren is getting ready for school and he rolls in his VW bug, jamming Bang Your Head. People are looking at him, but they're not too welcoming. They're just like staring at him like, who the hell is this kid? Willard and Ren get into a tiff in the hallway, but Willard likes Ren's style of comeback, and now they seem to be besties. Ren and Ariel are in the hallway. Oh, I'm cut that.
Mm-hmm.
Ren calls Ariel in the hallway, but she just acknowledges that she's Ariel and just walks away from him, which is like super rude. Ren and Willard are in the cafeteria, and Ren is talking about his life in Chicago. So now we know where he came from.
I love that Ren and Willard became like instant friends.
Yes, they're instant besties.
Willard is the like sleeper hit of this entire movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ren is talking about his life in Chicago, dancing with girls and girls buying him beers and Ginger who wants to do him. But it was all a joke. Besides the dancing, that was true. They join the girls, Ariel and Rusty, and whoever the other two girls are in their group. And Ren learns that dancing is illegal there for about 5 to 6 years now. So, excuse me? You can outlaw dancing? I know there's a lot of strange laws. Like, you can't walk an elephant down Lake Road in Bay Village.
You can't what? Oh, is that like law?
That's a law.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility, especially within, I mean, I know they're making this kind of a Christian themed movie in the heart of Mormon country. I think Utah is one of those states where you're like, yep, I could see that. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah. So we find out that it was outlawed because some kids got in a car wreck, and the town was convinced it was due to dancing and sin and alcohol and drugs. And Willard asks Ren if he's rich, and Ren says no. Why? And Willard says that he's never bought a cassette tape before because they're in Ren's car, and he puts a cassette in the radio.
Oh,
I know. Made me want to like give him a bear hug. Like, here's Noddy, another bad creation cassette tape. Go listen to it. And Willard knows nothing about music. And then Ren is pulled over and he is asked to step out of the car. They confiscate his cassette tape. And these cops
that's
are
bullshit.
dicks.
Total bullshit.
Yeah. They're the party pooper police. And Ren also gets a $25 ticket.
Also bullshit.
Yes. He learns that some kids got pulled over coming back into town after going to a concert, and they were on probation with the church and the school for weeks. Like, come on. You might as well move to like North Korea.
Yeah. Totally the same.
So Ariel appears to be doing homework, and she apologizes to her dad about the music the other night at the drive-in. He says he cannot be with her and look out for her all of the time. He's listening to classical music because it's uplifting and it doesn't confuse people's minds. Is that why our dad loves classical music?
He is a very devout, holy man.
Yes.
Yes.
He tells Ariel to tell her mother to go to bed because he has work to do. Fuck off. Like, how controlling can you be?
Yeah. Like,
I'll go to bed when I want to, dick.
yeah. Tell me what to do.
Right. I'm your wife, not your kid. Don't tell me when to go to bed.
Yeah.
At the end of this next school day, Ariel jumps into Chuck's truck, and Chuck and Ren throw some words at each other, and Willard tells Ren to watch his back. Ren is at the Lehigh Roller Mills and gets a job there. He's schlepping bags, and Ariel shows up saying Chuck wants to see Ren at the back of his dad's field tomorrow at 5:30. If he doesn't show up, people will know he's scared, and Chuck will find him.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, so scared. Now we're at the school gym, and Ren is doing some serious gymnastic aerial moves. Him and Willard are gossiping about Ariel.
Mhm.
And then we turn to Ariel and Chuck getting over some intimacy of sorts. And she says her dad hates when she wears her cowboy boots. Are cowboy boots a bad
Well, they
connotation?
probably,
Knocking boots.
country dancing, country music. I don't know. He has something against cowboys.
He does.
I don't know. He seems to have a lot of issues.
He does have some issues.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So now Ren is talking about a chicken race involving the tractor with Willard and Rusty and some others. Chuck is there high as a kite, smoking some reefer, and Chuck and Ren are racing and holding out for a hero plays at the guy as the guys barrel towards each other. So Chuck and Ren are playing the game of chicken.
Yes.
Ren's shoelace is stuck on the pedal, and Chuck bails, and Ren wins. Chuck and his tractor are in the water. And now we are at a restaurant. I'm not sure if it's the drive-in or a different place, but whatever. Rusty gives Ariel the lowdown about Ren's schedule. It's like, how is Ariel like the queen bee? Is she like Miss Popular that she's the only one that can get these guys?
Right?
Kind of weird. And then we're at school, and Rich offers Ren some reefer and puts it in Ren's shirt. And at that time, a teacher comes in and chases them. But, inner city boy Ren is smart. And he runs and he flushes it down the toilet before there's proof to get him in trouble for it. Joke's on you, dude. Ren's uncle now we're back at Uncle's house. And the uncle's a big dweeb and annoying, but the uncle lets Ren know that people are pointing fingers at him for drugs and tractors being overturned, and Ren just isn't adapting well. Ren gets very upset when his uncle says that he wouldn't dare try to take the place of Ren's father.
Yeah.
So this is where we realize that because Ren's mother is there, father is not, something has happened to Ren's father, which must be why they are there. Ren leaves, pops a cassette in his car, and he has his cigarette and a beer in hand, and he starts angry dancing. Lo and behold, Ariel just pops up because she's everywhere. And she asks Ren why he doesn't like her. Like, slow your roll, Ariel.
Wow.
Like, come on. This guy's obviously, I don't know, she seems very selfish. Like,
she's not rubbing you the right way during the first parts of this movie.
Like, dude's going through something right now, and you're like, why don't you like me? It's annoying. Ariel asks if he wants to kiss her and says she won't be in that small town of Beaumont for long because she's going to go away to college. She takes him to a secret hiding spot of songs and poems written on an old train car and explains that when the trains come by, they stand there and scream. Ariel then puts herself in front of a moving train, and Wren pushes her out of the way. Like, this girl has major psychological issues.
Again, like, right. Like, I get it. Like, we find out later on, but like, it, whatever.
Well, if I were Wren, I would be pissed because he was having his moment. He was getting his anger out. This chick just randomly pops up asking why he doesn't like her, and then he has to rescue her from a moving train. Like, girl, just let him, what? Oh. And then, of course, they have a weird bonding moment, and he takes her home. And Reverend Dad is waiting for her because it's late, and she's now disrespecting curfew, which he's right on that. She says that she was with Wren, and Reverend Dad doesn't want her hanging out with him because he's a troublemaker. And Ariel pushes back on him. So Willard now pulls up to the car wash, and Wren is off the gymnastics team because they don't have funds for another gymnast. Willard says Wren has an attitude problem, and Wren's solution is that he is wanting to host a dance. Now the Reverend is talking to multiple groups about families being intertwined and being closer and safer to his people in this small town. At night, someone is informing the Reverend that there is a dance being planned, and meanwhile, Ariel is sneaking out of the house and hops into a car with Wren, Rusty, and Willard to go over the state line. They appear in a bar where there's loud music and dancing and people having an absolute blast to Mellencamp's Hurt So Good. Willard admits that he can't dance. Rusty and Willard are on the sidelines since Willard can't dance, and Rusty finally bails on Willard and goes to dance to Footloose. By this point, Willard's hammered, and there's a guy on the dance floor that had grabbed Rusty to dance with him, and Willard goes and grabs that guy, and the dude clocks Willard.
Yeah.
And then they drive home, and they cross the bridge of the incident where kids were playing highway tag drunk, and both cars went over the bridge, and they died. That's where the laws against the booze and dancing came from. And we then learn it was Ariel's older brother that got killed. Back at Ariel's house, the Reverend said that he had called Rusty's and he knew that Ariel was lying about where she was at. She questions why he has such an interest when she's not home, but when she is, it's crickets. Did she not just explain why he's overprotective? Like, why are you giving...
she did. She did. Yeah.
It was like, why are you giving him crap? Like, when you're home, he knows you're home and safe.
Yes.
When you're not there, he's going to worry. Every parent does that. So he ends up slapping Ariel.
Right, but I think it feels different. You know, the parents are checked out, but they're still overbearing. They're,
Right.
you know, like the absence of the mother, and we'll talk about this in the verdict, but you know, you don't see a lot of Vi in the movie.
Right.
And I think that's
Telling.
on purpose.
Mhm.
You know, like she lost a child. I think that definitely got overlooked by a lot of people who reviewed this movie as just like a part of the storyline, but like, no, like your kid died, so do you.
Right.
So you see her, but you don't.
Right.
Anyway, I digress.
I would have hoped Ariel kind of had some of that inclination in her, though.
But also, if you figure it was like, what, 6 years ago, now she's 17. She was maybe only
young.
11 when her brother died. So not really understanding, you know, not getting it.
Yeah. Well, at this point, the mother, Vi, reminisces about how the Reverend and Ariel had a close bond at one point. And she says that for 20 years, she has been supportive, quiet, unobtrusive, and he's a wonderful preacher to congregations, but he needs some work on his one-on-one. So good for her for telling him that. Now, Ren is promoting having a dance to some random kids, and some douchebags corner Ren, but a big dude takes care of them and gets Ren out of there. Willard tells Ren that he has to get council approval for the dance, and the Reverend is on that said council.
Of course he is.
Naturally. Ren is determined to get Willard to dance, and we see him learning to Let's Hear It for the Boys. And I love that. This is one of my favorite scenes.
I love this scene so hard. It is so pure.
Yes.
It is so... I feel like this scene could be made into an educational video on how to fix the world.
That you might be onto something.
Seriously. Men need
determination.
to dance together more.
Yes. Yes. To Let's Hear It for the Boys.
Yes.
I love that.
And then later on to Footloose, but we'll get
Yes.
there. We'll get there.
Well, Willard does great. Like,
Oh
he's
my
very
God.
persistent, and he does a great job, like really wanting to learn to dance.
Willard wins this movie, I swear. He's like the Neville Longbottom of Footloose.
Yes,
Ah.
he is. And now we're at the church or the school. I'm not sure where this building is at. We haven't been there before. And the Reverend is being told about a corrupt book that was found at the high school that should be pulled from the shelves.
Hmm.
The Reverend then seems to have loosened his viewpoints on how strict things are. Back at the school, Chuck and Ariel meet up, and he thinks that she wants to screw Ren. He slaps her to the ground. She beats his car with a metal pole, which once I saw him slap her, I was like, oh shit, like here we go.
Yeah.
But she was out for it. She grabbed a metal pole and started bashing his car, and they get into an all-out brawl. But he really does beat the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this an ongoing thing with these movies?
And goes, yeah, I mean,
Why is this okay to write in?
I don't think it was okay to write in, but I think it was like a little bit more, I'm not going to say easier to watch, but more of a social norm than it is today.
That's unfortunate.
Which is crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy, yeah. But you're talking about, this is the boomer generation, right? That we're watching, where
Yeah.
these kids are the boomer generation. And they came from the silent generation. And this was normal,
Yeah.
you know? It wasn't
Yeah.
until Gen X came around that we really started to, so if you see people from the boomer generation doing those kind of things, that's crazy
Yeah.
to fight against it.
Word. So she gets the crap beaten out of her, and now she's with Ren. Shocker. And we get to the root of the issue with Ariel and the Rev.
Yeah.
She needs to not try so hard to forget her brother or for the Reverend too. She gives Ren a music box and she asks if he may ever kiss her. And
Oh.
he does. Like, okay,
Oh, wow.
you just beat up. Like, why is him kissing you on your mind?
Well, maybe, makes her feel better.
Well, that's concerning. Take care of yourself, girl.
Yeah. Right.
Now we're at Ariel's house, and the Rev says that the dance is not going to happen, and Ariel probably won't forgive him for it. And when the kids dance together, they become sexually irresponsible. So, I mean, they could have had dance rules like in Fire with Fire.
Fire with fire.
12 inches, no 2 slow dances in a row. I mean, they could have had that.
I agree.
Now, Vi reminds the Rev that dancing is not the only thing that gets teenagers excited. Word. Like,
Wow.
hormones are running through kids. It's not just dancing that gets you horny.
Vi,
And I don't even like, whatever. He quickly dismisses her. And she says that this won't take away a stupid accident. So now we're getting into like the deep issues.
Yeah.
She reminds him that he can't be a father to everyone. Rusty and Ariel are passing out flyers for the council meeting that is the next night, which Ren is very nervous for.
Yes, he is.
Very. Ariel shows Ren a Bible with some great stuff in it, but what that is, we don't know yet.
So she's doing some cliff notes for him.
She's preparing him with something.
Yeah.
And it better be good.
Right.
And next we see Chuck's truck screech in front of Ren's house, and a brick saying "burn in hell" is thrown through his little cousin's room. You know, that was sad. It's like they didn't know where they were throwing this, and these two little girls are staying in there. How scary.
Must have not been in the room when that was on. I missed that.
Oh, yeah. So now Ren's uncle is blaming Ren for his business losing revenue. And it's because of Ren that Ren's mom was fired. And they blame Ren for everything, which, like, in today's age, like, Ren is a pretty good kid.
Seriously. Seriously.
Ren's mom asks him why does he want to have a dance in this town? And Ren says that he blamed himself for his dad leaving, and it's time for him to do something for himself. So he says his dad left, but didn't necessarily pass away, but maybe leaving could mean passed away. So I think that's up in the air.
I think dad left. I really did. I that's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Dad took off.
Wherever you are, Mr. McCormick, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Now we're at the council meeting and the room is jam-packed. Ren stands up and proposes on behalf of the senior class that the laws against dancing in the city of Beaumont be abolished. The Rev speaks up saying he has a difficulty endorsing this type of event because liquor and drugs always seem to be present and there is spiritual corruption. This music can be destructive, and most of the community will agree with him on that. Ren explains that they are not encouraging destruction, and he then reads from the Bible about dancing. Dancing is for celebration. He does an amazing job at this.
He really does a great job. And it's funny too, because he's like trying to get to like that second quote or whatever. He's like, I think it's David. Is there a book, David?
Yes.
Like, David, what did David say? What did like
right? Yeah,
that was funny. I thought that was funny. But it was, and it was just in that moment. It was like, oh my gosh, look at this! Like teenage activism. This was activism.
Yeah.
This was
absolutely.
You know, we want to change the rules, and we have receipts, and we have why this should not be a thing anymore, and we're going to call you to task on it. And it was this scene that really kind of went for me. I was like, okay, this movie does have a really good storyline.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because I know the reviews. Because I know the reviews. So I'm saying this ahead of us talking about the reviews of this movie. I'm like, there's a decent storyline.
There is. Yeah.
There is.
I mean, he's literally presenting practice what you preach. If you're going to preach the Bible says to dance.
Exactly.
And he explains that dancing is their way to celebrate life.
And you know, one of my favorite church songs is what? Lord of the Dance.
There you go. Yeah. It's in there.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Dance for joy, dance to celebrate. And he explains that is the way it has been since the beginning of time. And he proves it by reading from Psalms and Ecclesiastes. And that's it. We don't hear how the vote went or anything. Yeah. Like, I was waiting for like this monumental announcement of like either celebration that they could have the dance or they're all leaving there pissed because they still can't. But no, we just go on to the next scene of Wren being at work the next day. And then we get the gist that the motion was overruled. And Wren's boss says that he should do the dance in Basin. But that defeats the purpose of getting Belmont to dance.
Right.
And we learn that just across the tracks, right there at the mill, is Basin. If Wren can convince the Rev that they could dance without spiritual corruption, then there's a chance of this dance happening. Now, Ariel is at the church watching the Rev practice his sermon. He sees her, and she says she sees him and his preaching as show business. He's all up there. He's up there just for an act. But it's how he reaches people's emotions, he responds. She points out that he did not ask for what was wrong the other night. She knows he told the board that the music is what people fornicate to. She wasn't supposed to hear that, according to him, and she questions when she'll be old enough. And then she tells him that she is not a virgin.
Oh, yeah. She didn't like that.
No. And he tells her, don't talk like that here, which again is a practice what you preach, because she asked to be forgiven because she should confess her sins in her church with her preacher.
Do people confess sins when you're Presbyterian?
I don't know if they do confession.
I thought that was just a Catholicism thing.
I don't know. Maybe our one listener could leave a comment.
Yeah. Could someone who is not a Catholic tell us? Like, I don't believe, because Tavia has always kind of pointed that out to me. Like, no, that's you weird Catholics.
It really is. There's
think so.
nothing in the Bible about having to confess sins
But
to.
maybe that's done in a different way. I bet if we called Tavia, she'd tell us what it is. But is that like, is that done in a different way in different
Maybe
Christian religions?
should be
Something to look up later. Maybe.
Now the Rev is rushed away from this conversation due to a book burning at the library.
Right.
Which the library must be very close by.
Yeah. Literally next door.
Yeah. He questions the people burning the books who allowed them to pass judgment and save the souls of everyone in Beaumont. So now I'm wondering if he's projecting, if he's realizing what's going on.
I thought the same thing.
It's kind of hard to tell. When the books are burned, then what? He says that Satan is in the heart, not in the books. And he says that these people should go sit in judgment on themselves at home. So the moral of the story here, kids, is people can't make you be or do good by making rules. This is me, not the Rev. You have to decide for yourself what is right and wrong and turn away from evil. Like the amount of rules they have to keep kids from sin is what makes them turn to it. You have to look inside yourself to turn away from temptations. Now, the Rev and Wren are sitting down looking at photos of his son that had passed, and Wren says that they can't make sense of what happened to him or Wren's dad. The Rev thanks him, and this is an open-ended thank you for no particular reason.
Yeah.
He just says, thank you.
Yeah.
Wren had gone there to get the Rev's permission to take Ariel to the senior prom, aka the dance. Ariel tells the Rev that she doesn't know if she believes everything that he believes in, but she believes in him. At the church service, the Rev says that he has a troubled heart. He has taken responsibility for the congregation and the city's lives, but he makes mistakes and he learns from them. And like a first-time parent, he questions if he holds on or lets go. If we don't start trusting our children, how will they become trustworthy? Like that really hit. Like that's so true. Like these helicopter parents that You got to let them fly and make mistakes for them to learn and for you to know that they can prevail.
Agreed.
He says he knows about a warehouse in Basin for a senior dance. And he then asks the congregation to pray for those kids and their endeavors. And now we see
And everyone is so happy.
they're
in
so
church.
happy.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
Yes. And the dance is on. Now all these kids are on motorcycles.
Yeah.
Where did those come from?
Well,
Just came out of nowhere.
Rural Utah.
And they're going to the mill to decorate for the dance. Ariel is getting ready, and Vi comes in and gives Ariel a corsage. And then we learn that it's actually from the Reverend.
Aww.
Yeah, that was very cute, but he just couldn't bring himself to bring it to her.
Like when she was like, standing at the mirror in that dress, like I had like Karen Carpenter moment there.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
girl, eat a sandwich. My
Yeah.
God.
So, and Ren picks up Ariel and he says that she's beautiful. And he had this funny thing going on with his car where the door was locked. He had to go in the driver's side, unlock her door, runs back around to let her in the car, and then he like kicks the door closed.
Well, the door doesn't shut, so then like he kicks it shut. And it like scares her. I don't know if that was like supposed to happen. That was a little ad lib acting there. I don't know.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And so now we flash over to the dance, and there's a lot of cake. There's a lot of cake and punch and turkeys. And like, that's what's on the table. You can have some turkey and punch and cake.
So I love that. Like, obviously, this is people's parents, right?
Yes,
and
it's
so
potluck.
the parents have really come out for these kids to have this party by,
Yes.
Baking cakes and turkeys.
And then we see everyone standing and sitting around the perimeter of the room.
Yeah, real
Like-
rager.
Yeah. Like they don't even know how to
do it.
initiate dancing
Yeah.
or maybe even how to dance. It's been 6 years since they've been able to
They were little
dance.
kids.
Yeah. And then Almost Paradise is playing, and Ren and Ariel show up and they start the slow dancing, and then people start joining them on the dance floor. And now we see the Rev and Vi are outside spying on the mill. Outside spying on the dance, and the mill owner catches them and says that the Rev did a good thing here.
Yeah.
The Rev and Vi have a rather intimate embrace with each other, which was nice.
Which kind of, really symbolized that
Like letting a guard down.
and moving forward,
Yes.
right? Like they did not have any intimate, like I say intimate act, and that's the wrong phrase, but like you didn't see them being loving towards each other
Right.
throughout the whole movie. And that is all that like underlying loss of a child,
Yes.
right?
And now Chuck, of course, has to come and
You're
do
real
stupid shit.
buzzkill,
Yeah.
bro.
So he comes with his douchebags, and Willard says, dude, there's no fights tonight. I promised Ren there were no fights. And of course, Chuck kicks Willard, and Rusty is grabbed by one of the douchebags. And then Ren comes out, and a huge fight ensues. It was actually quick scene of a fight.
Thankfully, because I think I would have been really irritated had that dragged out longer.
Then they go back into the dance, and now Footloose is blaring, and it's a frickin' party.
And that's like at the beginning of that video or whatever, where he jumps off the stairs and he's like, "We're here to dance," or whatever he says with the confetti and everything. And then Footloose starts, and it's like, and go,
So this is where we see Willard showing off his awesome dance moves.
Also,
He does so good.
Ren dancing together with the stuff that they had rehearsed. And just, oh my God.
Everyone's having the greatest time ever. and scene. I would love to see that remade.
It was
Like,
remade.
no, I mean like in today, Kevin Bacon.
Oh, you want Kevin Bacon to do it
Yeah, and we can substitute Sean Penn.
for Chris Penn?
Chris Penn, yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be awesome.
I don't know how much Sean Penn's gonna dance.
He can
He
find it
doesn't
in
give
him.
dancer to me. What
Maybe.
did I just see him in? He was in a documentary. Anyway, that was Footloose.
That was fun. It was a good movie. Did other people think it was a good movie?
It was a little mixed. So last week we kind of talked about how we kind of thought the tomato meter was a little bullshit.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to dig into the reviews at the time, like down to I watched like Night at the Movies on YouTube. Like I wrote down Siskel's like actual review because they had a
Okay.
TV show together, right?
I remember watching that.
Okay, good. So I actually had to watch that to get Siskel's review of this. So Vincent Canby at the New York Times, he gave a lukewarm review noting that the movie had Hollywood patina and it was flash dance set in farm country, which is not untrue.
Not that untrue.
Though he praised the soundtrack and an appealing cast that worked in spite of the material. Bestie Ebert gave the film 1.5 out of 4 stars. And this is where I think where Rotten Tomatoes research is flawed, because I believe in there it said that he gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars. And that was not true because I pulled up his actual newspaper article and he gave it 1.5 out of 4 stars. Footloose is a seriously confused movie that tries to do 3 things and does them all badly. It wants to tell the story of a conflict in a town. It wants to introduce some flashy teenage characters. And part of the time it wants to be a music video. It's possible that no movie with this many agendas can be good. Maybe somebody should have decided early on exactly what the movie was supposed to be about. So I'm going to stop it there. Because I feel that early on, we know exactly what the movie is about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
agree with this.
understand his basis for saying this.
Agreed with you. Yes.
The film tells the story of a Chicago kid named Ren who has a fashionable haircut and likes to dance. He moves with his mother to a small town named Beaumont, which is somewhere in the Midwest, although I seriously doubt a town like this exists anywhere outside of standard movie cliches. I think all of that is wrong.
Yeah.
I think all of that is wrong. I think there's a lot more to Ren than a fashionable haircut and wanting to dance. I think there's a lot more to his character than Ebert gives him credit for.
There's a lot more to this entire plot.
Yeah.
He's just looking at surface.
And honestly, I don't consider Utah the Midwest literally at all. I consider Utah the West.
Yeah.
And I do believe towns like this absolutely do exist.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially in Utah.
Yeah. Siskel, I couldn't find that Siskel had actually written this up as an article, but I did find it in their Night at the Movies or whatever that show was called. What he says is Ren McCormick is appealing. Kevin Bacon is a legitimate good actor, and so is Christopher Penn, who plays Ren's best friend and sort of a cowboy who learns how to dance finally in the picture. I had a good time looking at Footloose, and that is all this film is trying to be. A great deal of fun and toe-tapping emotion to the picture. And I didn't do Ebert's response because Ebert did an article, and, they kind of fight not fight, but they go back and forth from each other where Ebert's like, no, there was nothing appealing about this. There was not,
Really?
you know, and yeah. And Siskel was like, no, I think that, you know, they really butted heads on this movie. So I do think Siskel does get it a
Yeah.
lot more than Ebert did.
For sure.
But he still just kind of sees this surface level toe tapping, nice to look at movie, which it is. It's all a bunch of good looking people, great acting, but there really is a story there. Janet Maslin of the New Yorker, enjoy the terrific title sequence of Footloose while it lasts, not just for its montage of interesting looking dancers' feet and red hot musical accompaniment, but also for its promise of the jumpy, colorful, exciting movie that unfortunately is not to follow. Instead, Footloose is a flash dance set in farm country with tractors supplying the blue collar chic and the flash mostly missing. The single burning idea behind the movie can be summed up as follows. Don't knock the rock. Like the rest of today's video-happy teenage entertainments, Footloose doesn't expect to be watched closely or taken seriously. It wants to fill the screen with catchy music and pretty kids, and this it certainly accomplishes. Miss Singer looks lovely, even on the night when she comes home with a black eye that nobody asks about. And she is dynamic to the point of constant darting.
What does constant darting mean?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I feel like she made that up so that people would just be like, oh yeah, okay, and not question what the hell are you talking about.
I just expect to watch closely or take them seriously. Again, there is a very solid storyline
that really stood out to me as well
in this movie.
Like I think this is one of the deepest movies I've seen in quite a while. Like there's a major underlying tone here.
So obviously at that time, something was missed in the critical review. Like either they were just so hell-bent on focusing on Kevin Bacon, on Kenny Loggins, or whoever, like they really didn't see, you know, the pain and suffering parents go through in the loss of a child, the lost sibling, the sibling that is forgotten in that, the you know, the big town boy coming to the small town and doesn't try to be better than anyone. Like he does seem to fit in, makes a friend, and tries to initiate change for other people's happiness.
Right.
There's a lot of layers in that.
A lot.
So obviously, you know, mentioned Kevin Loggins, and the soundtrack of this was universally praised. The film's music was widely celebrated. Obviously, Kenny Loggins' Footloose and Denise Williams' Let's Hear It for the Boy were infectious and do remain iconic today.
Absolutely.
I think it's up there. This has got to be up there with like the Top Gun soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure.
On Metascore, it scored a 42 based on like, you know, these critics that I just went over. It scored a 42, which is very, I mean, not very D, like kind of a D range for a movie. But on the user end, it rated at a 7.1, which is generally favorable.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to me that it did. I think Siskel was the only one who really
got to a deeper meaning.
He saw it.
Yeah.
He saw the story, you know, and again, I don't know if typically when we're looking at things in hindsight, we're seeing it from negatively from our perspective.
Yeah.
We're like, this is really cringe. But I'm just wondering if all of these storylines were just completely lost on adults at that time. I don't know if that makes sense. Because nobody mentions it.
Yeah.
Nobody mentions like how the death of some children affected
A whole city.
an entire town. I feel like it's completely overlooked. And is that us in modern day zeroing in on that when back in 84, kids are dead.
Right.
Kids are dead. Who cares? Like, I just feel like Dean Pitchford is who wrote this and directed by Herbert Ross. I thought it was written really well.
I concur.
I know, I feel like we're like going through this so quickly. We don't have Jeannine here to sing or anything. So I would rate this not cringe
Mm-hmm.
at all. Not really cringe at all. There's nothing in this movie. Yeah, and we know it was remade. I
Mhm.
believe there's a 2011 remake. I've never seen it. I don't tend to want to see remakes
Nope.
almost ever.
Me neither.
Why ruin a good thing?
I think I said that about Annie.
Okay, right. Which has been remade, I feel, a couple times.
Probably. I know at least one.
Right. So this is not really cringe to me. Am I going to watch it on a Saturday? If it's on, sure. Yeah. Love it.
I am also going to give it a not really. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I think I will actually purposely watch it again.
I almost feel like this qualifies for Hall of Fame. And we have not had anything qualify for Hall of Fame
in a long time.
in a really long time. But we don't have Meaners here.
True.
And we're going to have to get her input.
We'll vote in a couple weeks on that.
So we'll get back to everyone on Footloose. But we're going to put a pause on that because we have to let Jeannine give her input.
Yeah.
But we're going to say for right now, it is a contender for Hall of
it's
Fame.
a nominee.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. We didn't talk about where you can watch it. You
Oh.
really could not watch this for free anywhere. Unless your mom
No.
happens to have it downstairs.
Right. I did not
Where
have my
did you
mom
watch
at home.
this?
I watched it on Prime and they had a deal. So it was like $2.50 to rent.
On where?
Prime.
I didn't rent it for $2.50.
I got a deal.
Oh my God. I think I paid $3.99 on Prime.
That was the original price. I got a deal.
How did you get a deal?
I don't know. Oh, I think I might have had digital credits.
Oh, forget it. Like stuff
Yeah.
delivered late. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I paid $3.99. And basically you cannot find it free anywhere. Legal.
I did see that it was going to be on a channel through the Sling app. I should go in and record it.
I thought it was through Sling. It was on MGM Plus because I tried to go into Sling, and I could be very wrong, but everywhere I went where it felt like I was that you had to have this MGM Plus subscription. I was like, no,
thank you.
And it was distributed by Paramount,
right?
So I was like, why is this shit not on Paramount Plus?
I didn't even see it advertised for Paramount Plus.
And it's not because it's not on it.
That's weird.
And it's on MGM. So I don't know what legally happened with the ownership of this movie, but kind of an ending note. This soundtrack, I know that Footloose and Let's Hear It for the Boy get a lot of attention, but you've also got I'm Free by Kenny Loggins.
Mm-hmm.
You got Holding Out for a Hero with Bonnie Tyler. You've got Dancing in the Sheets by Shalimar, and Almost Paradise with Loverboy and Ann Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got, it's a really, really great soundtrack.
And Hurt So Good.
Hurt so good. So fun fact. But according to Bacon, when he attends weddings and DJs play Footloose, people will clap at him. And he always feels like a trained monkey. And anytime he does go to a wedding, he does request DJs not play
Good for him.
Footloose.
Like, I get, like, you played a character. You don't have to be that character.
Right.
Every stupid wedding you go to.
Right. Right. So I just
You can be Kevin Bacon and not Ren McCormick.
Exactly. So I think that's and we all know him to be a very amiable person. He's him and Kira are just so adorbs. They're so adorbs. But I just thought that was interesting. So Footloose.
We definitely cut loose this week with Footloose. We learned that life ain't passing us by because we've got to turn it around, put our feet on the ground, and take a hold of our souls.
Thank you for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you've had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye.